So this video is showing you how to diagnose a problem where you have a cylinder misfire on a 2011 Tiguan 2.0 liter. And I'm going to be reading the codes. And as you can see here, I got a P0300 code, which basically tells you generic misfire. And then I get into the specific codes where it tells me cylinder 4 misfired. Again, multiple random, so again 0300, giving me another cylinder 4 and cylinder 2, and then again, 4. So first thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to clear the codes, and I'm going to reread what the vehicle is throwing. Okay, so the codes have been erased. Let's reread them. Yeah, I just have the permanent 2 codes now at this point. Okay, so now let's see how the vehicle behaves when I start it. Okay, as you can see, it's got some sort of misfire going on. Check engine light came on already. I'm going to power it off. And the codes are cylinder 4, cylinder 2, and then the 2 permanent ones. So again, I got 4 and 2. So what we're going to try and do next is, let's go over to the engine area. So what you see here now are the coils, and spark plugs are underneath here. I marked each of the coils with a respective number. Remember, 2 and 4 were the ones that were throwing the error code. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull off the connectors. You kind of press down here and pull back. You have to do this on all of them, and it's hard to do it with one hand. So basically you'll push down and pull back, and then we'll remove those connectors back. So I'll do this with both hands. This is what it looks like once you get all of those little latches on the connectors unhooked. So when you if you press on this, you see this is how it lifts up, and it hooks right here. So what we'll do now is we'll pull out the coils. Let me just pull them out like this, and I'm going to swap them out, and then I'll rerun the test again with the tester. All of the coils out, and this is what they look like. So what I'll do now is I'll basically swap out where 3 was. I'll put it into 4. Where I'm going to swap 1 and 2, and then we'll see if that gives us different readings. So there's 1, and here's the last coil we're inserting. So that's the one that was originally in position number 4, and then we put it into position number 3. And what we're going to do now is we're going to just connect those connectors back on and clear the codes and see if we get a different reading. It's a little bit hard to do with one hand. There you go. So just push them in until they click. There you go. Right, here we go. So now we're going to erase the codes. And we'll go back to read the codes. And just the permanent ones are here. And we're going to start the vehicle now. The check engine light is going to come on in a second. There it is. Let's read the codes quickly. And we have cylinder 3 and 4 still now. So let's see what the codes are. So we got 4 misfired and 3 misfired. So what that means is that 2 moved to position number 3, so we obviously got one bad coil. With the other one, it could be a spark plug as well. So we're going to be replacing the spark plugs anyway since we got it open, but that confirmed we got a coil problem. So I rearranged them now one more time to just confirm another combination. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, but in the reverse order. And we'll clear the codes and start the vehicle and read the codes again. And we're going to go back now and erase the codes. All right, the codes are erased. We're going to reread them. Okay, just the permanent ones right here. And we're going to start the vehicle now. We'll wait till the engine light comes on. There you go, the light's on. Let's read the codes quickly. There we got cylinder 1 and 3 now misfiring. So those are the permanent ones. So that now moved to 1 and 3. So if you remember, we started with 2 and 4, and now we're on 1 and 3 when we did the reverse order. So probably the best course of action here would be to replace the two coils here. As I move them around, they travel around with the problem area. So my replacement parts came in, and this is the Bosch spark plug coil. It looks like this. So, same as the other one. As you can see, this one was made in Slovenia, which is a small country in Europe. And I'm also going to be replacing the spark plugs at this point. So really kind of what the thought process is behind this is I've got 2 coils that failed, so that's 50% failure. At this point, I don't know that I want to take a chance of leaving the 2 that are still good in there. I'm just going to do the extra expense and replace all 4 of them. And I have the spark plugs that are probably approximately 60-70% used. In other words, they went through their useful life. So I'm going to just replace all of it and complete this job. So let's start with removing the connectors here and the coils. Right, so the coils are out. Next, we're going to remove the spark plugs. So for the spark plugs, we're going to use this 5/8 socket that's got inside kind of this rubberized area that helps us lift up the spark plug afterwards. So you just simply drop it in. Right, and here is pretty much the first spark plug that's out. Looks like this. And let's see if I pull it off. There you go. So that's my first spark plug, and I'll just basically repeat this through the remaining 3 spark plugs that I have here. All right, so the second spark plug's out. Okay, here's our third spark plugs. and the last one. Next, we're going to put in the new spark plugs. They look like this. The originals are from NGK, and this is the particular model. So it's PFR 7S 8EG. Before you put the spark plugs in, always check the gap. So here those are gapped to 0.8 millimeters. So it'd be kind of between those. Excuse me, to 0.8 millimeters. So this would be how you would check this. You just make sure that it goes through. So they're factory pre-gapped, but just double check it. So that's a small step that you would do. So next we're going to be applying a little bit of a dielectric grease to the spark plug. And remember, this goes only to the insulator part, not much. And really the purpose of this is to ensure that when you take off, in the future when you do maintenance, that the spark plug coil does not get, the rubber part does not get baked to it. So it's an insulator, so do not put it over here. Make sure you don't put too much on it so it doesn't get to the, to the connector. So just apply this to all 4 of them, and then we're going to bolt them in. Right, now we're back to installing the spark plugs. So here's the first one, same socket that we used before. And the important part here is go in by hand and make sure you're not cross-threading. So it's supposed to go in very lightly, just like the way I did right now. And just tighten it as far as you can, and then we'll just torque it. Obviously use the torque wrench, do not over tighten. Last thing you want is an over tightened spark plug that damages your cylinder head. So here we go. Use the torque wrench. There you go. So the first one's done, and we're going to repeat the same process with the other ones. I got the socket stuck in here. There you go. So let's do the next one. All right, that completes the spark plugs. Next, we're gonna install the spark plug coils. You simply push them in. Here's the first one. Second one. Third one. And fourth and last one. And then connect the connectors. So line them up. And then just make sure that those little things click in. There you go, and that completes the install. Next thing, we're going to double check if this fixed our problem. First, we're going to start with reading the codes. Those are the original codes. So see, we got the generic misfire, cylinder fire 1 and 3, misfire detected, and 2 permanent ones. If you recall, the 1 and 3 were the cylinders that misfired after I moved the spark plug coils, and that changed from 2 and 4. So let's start it now. And I can already tell the vehicle is running a lot better. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the vehicle. I'm going to clear the codes. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to give it contact so we don't lose the communication. And here we go. So the engine is off. Okay, we've cleared the codes, and you do that while the now. So those are the 2 permanent ones, if you recall. So now let's start the vehicle. And I only got those 2 permanent ones, but not the other ones. So I'll have to use a different tool to see if I can get rid of those. But anyway, that fixed our problem. I'm glad it was the electrical. Right, so this completes our job. I'm going to still put this cover on, but just maybe a few final thoughts. So here are our new spark plug coils. You know, hopefully the ones made in Slovenia here. I trust they're gonna work for the remaining life of the vehicle. Just a few thoughts. You know, we started with a simple thing. We started with the electrical, and I'm glad that's what it was. An electrical could include the spark plug coils, and you saw how we switched them to determine that in fact it was a spark plug coil and single it out. And we had 2 of them that were failed in this case. You know, while you're at it, like I said earlier, replace the spark plugs as well, as unless they're brand new and you know they're good. The other parts that could be a problem could be, you know, injectors. You know, that gets a little bit more convoluted. Could be the fuel pressure. Could be a sensor. But this, in our case, it was simply just the spark plugs. The spark plug coils. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful, and it's something that you're going to be able to use and apply when doing a repair on your vehicle. Thanks. There you go.